last chance to drop this nonsense, but I could tell she wasn't convinced. They've already shown you who they are, she said. What makes you think they'll back down now? And she wasn't wrong. The next day, I got a call from my mom. She said she wanted to talk things through, but it was obvious she just wanted me to change my mind. She kept saying things like, "It's just one moment, and it won't take away from the wedding." I told her for the millionth time that my answer was no. She tried guilt, tripping me, saying that my brother was heartbroken and that I was tearing the family apart over something small. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I told her, if this is so small, then why can't he just propose on a different day? She didn't have an answer for that. Later that evening, my brother showed up at my house. He didn't even bother texting or calling first. He just showed up and started pounding on my door. When I opened it, he immediately launched into a rant about how I'd ruined his plans and humiliated him in front of our parents. He was shouting so loud, I'm pretty sure the neighbors could hear. He kept going on about how his girlfriend was getting impatient and how this was his last chance to propose before she left him. I told him straight up, that's your problem, not mine. If she's going to leave you over this, maybe your relationship has bigger issues than you think. That shut him up for a second, but then he started yelling again, saying I was selfish and jealous and didn't want him to be happy. At that point, I told him to leave before I called someone to make him leave. After he stormed off, I thought maybe, just maybe, things would calm down. Nope. The very next day, I got a call from my grandma. She's the only grandparent we have left, and she's always been the family's peacekeeper. She started off by saying she'd heard about the situation and wanted to help mediate. Of course, that just meant my brother had gone crying to her with his side of the story. She said she was disappointed in how I was handling things and that families should stick together, especially during big moments like weddings. I could tell right away that my brother had twisted the story to make himself look like the victim. So, I calmly explained everything to her. How my brother wanted to propose at my wedding, how my parents were fully backing him, and how I told them no. You'd think that would have been enough, right? Hell no. She started saying things like, it's just a proposal and it won't take away from your wedding if it's done tastefully. I told her, Grandma, it's my wedding, not his. Why is this so hard for everyone to understand? She tried to push the family comes first angle, but I wasn't having it. I said, if family comes first, then why isn't anyone respecting me and my fiancé on our day? The conversation got heated after that. She kept defending my brother, saying he was in a tough spot and just wanted to make his proposal special. I reminded her that he's 30 years old and fully capable of planning his own proposal without hijacking someone else's event. She didn't like that answer. Things escalated, and before I knew it, she was crying and saying I was being cruel to my family. I felt bad for making her upset, but at the same time, I wasn't going to back down. I told her, if supporting family means letting people walk all over me, then maybe I don't need that kind of support. After I hung up, I was completely drained. This whole situation was turning into way more drama than I ever expected. My fiancée, as usual, was my rock. She was fired up saying, this is beyond disrespectful. They're completely out of line. I told her I agreed and that we needed to stand firm on our boundaries. She wasn't happy with how things had escalated, but she knew we couldn't let this slide. The next few days were weirdly quiet. No calls, no texts, nothing. It felt like the calm before the storm. I started wondering if maybe they'd finally gotten a message, but deep down I knew it wasn't over. My family isn't exactly known for letting things go. And sure enough, my mom called again a few days later. This time, she tried a different tactic. Instead of guilt, tripping me, she tried to appeal to my sense of fairness. She said, we've talked to your brother and he's willing to compromise. He won't do it during the ceremony, just at the reception. Isn't that reasonable? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I told her, no, it's not reasonable. The answer is still no. End of discussion. She sighed and said, I don't understand why you're being so difficult about this. At that point, I was done. I told her, if you bring this up again, you're uninvited. I mean it. Then I hung up. Now we're at a bit of a standoff. My parents haven't called since that last conversation, and my brother hasn't shown up again, thankfully. My fiancé and I are moving forward with our wedding plans, but there's still this cloud hanging over everything. Part of me hopes they'll come to their senses, but honestly, I'm not holding my breath. That's where things stand for now. I'll update you if anything changes, but for now, I'm just trying to focus on the wedding and not let this mess ruin what should be one of the happiest days of my life. Thanks for sticking with me through this. It helps to know I'm not alone in thinking this whole situation is insane. Also, a few of you mentioned it seems like my fiance has hated my parent from the start. So, let me address that first before diving into the latest chaos. Okay, so about the comments saying, my fiance seems to hate my parents. Honestly, that's not the case. She's always been respectful and has made an effort to build a good relationship with them. But over the years, she's seen firsthand how I've been treated, and she's fiercely protective of me. It's not that she hates them, it's more that she's frustrated by how one-sided things can feel. She's been incredibly patient, but when they cross lines like this, it's hard for her to just stay quiet. And honestly, I can't blame her. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. After the last round of nonsense with my brother, my mom, then my grandma, there was a bit of standoff. Nobody called me, and I didn't reach out to them either. Honestly, it was a relief to have some silence. My fiance and I focused on finalizing wedding details, table arrangements, cake tastings, seating charts, all that fun stuff. But even with all that, the tension was still in the air. I kept wondering when the next shoe would drop. Well, a few days ago, my mom finally reached out. She started the conversation by saying she didn't want to argue anymore and just wanted to move forward as a family. I was skeptical, but I let her talk. She said my brother had agreed to drop the whole idea of proposing at the wedding. She went on about how he realized it was disrespectful and how he wanted to make things right. I wasn't convinced it felt too easy, especially after how stubborn they'd all been about this. Still, I told her if he's really dropping it, then fine, but I'm not taking his word for it. I need to hear it from him directly. She said she'd talk to him and have him call me. I didn't exactly hold my breath, but I figured I'd give them the benefit of the doubt for now. Later that evening, my brother called me. He started with a half-hearted apology, saying he was sorry for causing stress and that he didn't realize how important it was to me and my fiancée to keep the wedding focused on us. He said he decided to wait and propose at a different time. His tone didn't sound genuine, but at least he was saying the right words. I told him,